He used to drive for Uber through the early mornings in Miami. During the day, he worked as a substitute teacher in public schools. And in his spare time, he kept training like he was just one step away from Major League Baseball. JC Escarra's story isn't about a hyped-up prospect. It's about someone who was forgotten, released, and still refused to disappear. Today, at 30 years old, Escarra not only wears a New York Yankees uniform, he's contributing to one of the strongest rosters in MLB. But to understand the weight of that, you have to look closer at the unlikely path that brought this name to the Bronx. In 2017, he was elected in the 15th round of the draft by the Baltimore Orioles, coming out of Florida International University. He wasn't seen as a phenom, but he had solid potential. Even so, his journey through the minor leagues was quiet, parts of 4 seasons without drawing much attention. And in April of 2022, the Orioles decided to end it. JC Escarra was released. For most players, that would be the final chapter. But for him, it was just another curve in the road. From that point on, he began a double and often triple life, driving for Uber to pay the bills, taking temporary jobs as a substitute teacher, and above all, keeping his training alive in independent leagues, where there's no MLB glamour and the fight for visibility is constant. It was baseball with no crowd, no spotlight, just persistence. Then in January 2024, the Yankees, one of the most successful and demanding franchises in sports history, decided to take a chance. Escarra received a minor league contract and an invitation to spring training with the main roster. It was a shot, despite still playing at a high level. By the way, short-term, if you appreciate stories like this, where resilience meets greatness, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Because behind every win on the scoreboard, there's a hidden journey. And here, we show what no one else does. The behind the scenes, the invisible bets, and the decisions that shape the season. Last year, playing between AA Somerset and AAA Scranton/Wilkes-Barre, Escarra hit .261 with a .355 OBP and a .434 slugging percentage, totaling 12 home runs in 125 games. Solid stats that show consistency and contact power. But it was during the Grapefruit League in the spring of 2024 that he truly became impossible to ignore. In just 56 plate appearances, he posted an OPS of .848 and a WRC plus of 119. In other words, he was producing well above average, even among veterans and regular starters. And when the opening day roster was announced, there he was, JC Escarra, a 30-year-old rookie ready to rewrite his story on baseball's biggest stage. In the first 19 games of the season, Escarra was put to the test, and he delivered. With 54 plate appearances, he maintained a .244/.352/.400/ line. He hit 1 home run, drove in 6 runs, and showed something rare in today's game: balance. His walk and strikeout rates, both at 13%, and his chase rate, how often he swings at pitches outside the strike zone, was just 19.5%. Control, discipline, and sharp vision at the plate. But his contribution didn't stop there. Even while showing versatility at first and third base, it's behind the plate where Escarra stands out most clearly. In just 110 innings as a catcher, he already has 1 defensive run saved and 2 framing runs. That last stat, the art of pitch framing, places him in the 83rd percentile in MLB, according to Baseball Savant. That means he's among the league's best at making pitches look like strikes to the umpires. Now, it's worth a comparison. Austin Wells, the Yankees starting catcher, is one of the best in the game at pitch framing. He leads all of MLB with 5 framing runs. But Wells has played more than 3 times as many innings at the position as Escarra. And offensively, his numbers are lower: 94 WRC plus and a .709 OPS in 173 plate appearances. Which raises a question: does Escarra deserve more playing time? His performance on May 25th might help answer that. In a 5-3 win over the Colorado Rockies, Escarra had the first 3-hit game of his career. He hit the double that tied the game in the 2nd inning, and he added a clutch hit in the 8th that gave the Yankees a much-needed insurance run. Each of those plays not only kept the Yankees in control, they showed that JC Escarra can deliver when it matters. It's not easy to carve out a role on a team like the Yankees. The roster is deep. The competition is intense. But Escarra is proving he's not just filling a spot. He's helping to shape wins, contributing to the DNA of a team with World Series aspirations. In today's game, where million-dollar contracts and household names dominate the headlines, stories like JC Escarra's are powerful reminders that talent, sometimes, grows far from the spotlight. And when it finds the right opportunity, it can shine brighter than any star. Now the question is for you. What should the Yankees do with Escarra? Does he deserve more time behind the plate? Should he be tested in bigger series against tougher opponents? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And while JC Escarra continues to surprise the baseball world with his unlikely rise, the Yankees, despite sitting at the top, know that a championship team isn't built on feel-good stories alone. It takes more than resilience and charisma. It takes balance, depth, reliability in the details that don't make headlines but decide seasons. And at this exact point in the journey, when the rotation begins to crack and fatigue knocks at the door, a name long forgotten starts to resurface behind the scenes in the Bronx. Andrew Heaney. The name might not stir excitement. There are no fireworks. But logic, in this case, speaks louder than emotion. Heaney, now 33, is currently a starter for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yet his connection to the Yankees still lingers, a faint, uncomfortable whisper in the back of the fan's mind. He was here. He was tested. And to many, he failed. But baseball has a short memory. And smart teams know when it's time to rewrite the narrative. According to R.J. Anderson of CBS Sports, the Pirates are one of the teams most likely to sell pieces in the coming months. In the midst of a structural rebuild, Pittsburgh is less interested in short-term veterans and more focused on investing in youth. This puts names like Heaney, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and even relievers David Bednar and Dennis Santana on the trade block. Catcher Joey Bart has also emerged as a trade chip, a potential opportunity for teams seeking short-term help with some upside. Heaney, in particular, represents the classic case of an underrated player. In 11 starts this season, he holds a 3.41 ERA, better than his career average of 4.40. His first 5 outings were impressive, with a 1.72 ERA that caught the attention of analysts nationwide. Despite still playing at a high level, there's been a drop-off. Short-term and natural, predictable, but he remains a stable option at the back end of rotation. With a modest 1-year, $5.25 million contract, he's the kind of reinforcement a team like the Yankees can absorb without compromising their financial core or top prospects. But what makes Heaney a viable target isn't just what he's doing. It's what the Yankees are facing. With Garrett Cole still out of rotation and Luis Gil being managed cautiously. Despite his spectacular season, the current staff is bearing a heavy load. Nestor Cortez has been inconsistent. Carlos Rodon is showing signs of stability, but is still working to fully settle in. Marcus Stroman is doing his job, but the bench is thin. And if October demands weapons, August demands preparation. The road to the postseason doesn't forgive poor planning, and waiting too long can be fatal. Heaney won't fix everything, but he can hold the line, prevent overuse, provide breathing room, and above all, offer reliable left-handed presence in moments of need. His dip in strikeout rate may concern the analytically inclined, but his zone command and run prevention suggests there's a solid foundation, especially when inserted into a defensive system like the Yankees, one of the best in the league right now. He may not be a star, but he's a piece that fits, a detail that completes the puzzle. And ironically, his story connects with Escarra's. Both were once cast aside. Both left the Bronx without leaving much of a trace. But time has the power to refine, to mature, to turn disappointment into lessons. Escarra came back to the back door and is now earning his place through grit, discipline, and versatility. Heaney, if he returns, will have to do the same. There will be no fanfare, no promises, just the demand to deliver. Beyond that, the market is growing more competitive. Teams like the Orioles, Astros, Twins, and Mariners are already sniffing around starting pitchers. The scarcity is real. And once the big names begin to spark bidding wars, the value of players like Heaney will only rise. Anticipating that moment could be a masterstroke, or the difference between a stable rotation and a looming disaster. The Pirates know this, and that's why they're ready to deal. After all, the longer they hold on to veterans who aren't part of their future, the more those assets depreciate. It's a quiet, strategic race. And if the Yankees are smart, they've already got the phone in hand. But the decision isn't just technical. It's cultural. It's emotional. Heaney represents a classic dilemma. Do you trust a name that once failed you, or gamble again, this time with more structure, more maturity, and a better environment? Could he be the unlikely hero, or repeat his former role as the antagonist? Now I want to hear from you. With the starting pitcher market growing thinner by the day, should the Yankees bet on Andrew Heaney as a rotation piece? Or is it better to pursue a more solid name, even if the cost is high? Will the front office dare to reopen a door that once closed under boos, or will they look inward, give more chances to young arms like Chase Hampton and Will Warren, and trust what they've already built? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. While the Yankees keep a surgical eye on the pitching market and quietly consider a reunion with Andrew Heaney as a potential emergency answer to rotation's instability, another issue has been intensifying on the field. And this time, it can no longer be patched up with improvisation. Third base has quietly become one of the most vulnerable positions on the Yankees roster. With Oswaldo Cabrera virtually ruled out for the remainder of the season due to physical issues, the Bronx Bombers are facing a familiar dilemma. Trust internal pieces and hope for a miraculous fit, or dive into the market in search of a definitive solution for a spot that now demands immediate stability. And at the center of that dilemma, an unexpected name has emerged: Alec Bohm. The Philadelphia Phillies third baseman has caught attention not just for his solid performance, but also for his strategic availability. After earning his first career All-Star nod in 2024, Bohm has cemented his status as one of the National League's most consistent players at the position. But behind the scenes, there's smoke, and in July, where there's smoke, there's almost always fire. According to a report by Sam Bernardi of Heavy, Bohm was floated as a trade piece back in the offseason. The Phillies, though in the playoff hunt, are dealing with a clear weakness in center field, ranking among the league's worst in offensive production. And that's exactly where the Yankees might hold a strategic edge. Trent Grisham, a two-time Gold Glove winner, having a solid season, hitting .255 with 12 home runs, could be the type of player Philadelphia is looking for to stabilize its outfield with defensive reliability and experience. Grisham isn't just a dependable fielder. He also represents a surplus asset for the Yankees. With an outfield already stacked with names like Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Alex still playing at a high level, New York can afford to sacrifice outfield depth to fix an internal urgency. But what makes Bohm truly valuable goes beyond recent performance. He's at a strategic point in his career, set to become a free agent after next season. And according to Spotrac projections, he could command a deal in a range of 7 years and $142 million. For the Phillies, who've already considered moving him while his value remains high, this could be the final window to extract a meaningful return before having to make a risky financial decision. For the Yankees, that market value turns Bohm into something rare, a rising talent, still young, with solid production and immediate impact, available without having to drain the farm system or bloat the payroll long term. It's one of those market moments where opportunity and necessity align, but only if someone has the courage to act. Still, the possibility of this trade hovers between realism and idealism. As Bernardi points out, there's a real chance the Yankees choose to roll with internal solutions, like DJ LeMahieu, a veteran who still offers defensive IQ and tactical versatility, but who has clearly lost pop at the plate. Another name floated is Jazz Chisholm Jr., who could, in theory, cover the position once healthy. But that approach comes with an invisible cost: time. The truth is, October baseball rarely forgives last-minute improvisation. Every position on the field is a precision gear, and right now, third base is grinding. Layered on top is the quiet risk of repeating recent mistakes. When New York entered the postseason with roster holes that were brutally exposed in critical games, the choice between banking on stability or shaking things up with a bold move also reflects the management style of Brian Cashman, an executive who has long balanced audacity with pragmatism and who once again finds himself at a crossroads without a clear signpost. In a way, this season's narrative is beginning to take shape through three players of wildly different profiles: JC Escarra, the unlikely 30-year-old warrior who clawed his way back from independent leagues to become a real contributor on a title-contending team. Andrew Heaney, a lefty often labeled as tolerable, who could provide relief for a stretch rotation. And now, Alec Bohm, an ascending all-star who may or may not be available, depending on the strategic outlook of an opposing front office. But they all share one thing. They each represent answers, even if partial ones, to the questions the Yankees are being forced to answer now, with the season clock ticking. There's no more room to wait for a miracle. And maybe, for first time in years, the front office needs to act with clarity it rarely displays in July. The question remains, will the Yankees bet on a missing piece, or once again trust that a patched-together machine won't break down when October arrives? The signs are there. Time is running out, and the market is about to boil. What do you think? Could Alec Bohm be the missing piece to complete this Yankees infield? Is it worth sacrificing Grisham for that kind of talent? Or would it be wiser to trust the system and preserve assets? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to follow every step of this race to the World Series, every rumor, every trade, and every decision that could change everything, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because when the season enters its final chapter, it's the silent choices made behind closed doors that decide who survives and who gets left behind.